Alright, Chapter 12, Timber Bridge Maintenance Repair Upgrade, Section 1, Preventive Maintenance General, with adequate repair and protective the timber with very during suitable building material with the maintenance program, the timber that involve the protection war with the insects of the damage of the repair of the damage for the store with the mechanical operation, water damage, the timber play with the ground with the water line, the continually exposed with the wet dry cycle. The subject writing with the help of the elevate the member of the concrete, putting the coat of the concrete to prevent the water from entering the wood. The timber itself that must be treated with as well. The whole of the self, the end of the timber, the preservative, the trim treatments for the preparation of the preservative normally range from 1 to 3 inches. The creosote type pressure treatment. This is the most effectively method for the protection of the bridge timbers. Pentochloropropanol, the pento oil treatment is a heavy oil solvent applied with the using pressure method. The inorganic salt solution applied with the unit of pressure provides less water repelling than other treatments. The salt solution can corrode any hardware used in construction of the bridge. Holes, anchor bolts, and the drift pin, the lag with the hole breaks, for the hole with the decay with the deterioration, all the but begin with these holes should be protected with moisture penetration, swab with the hot snowfall, shooting the crystal tight, use the pressure with the bolt technique, the timber, and end of the initial opening with the grain of the timber, and the allow the easier water penetrate from the end of the cup of the pan with the preservative swab with the hot asphalt, and the scope of the members should be capped within the sheet with aluminum, tin, and similar metal. Some of the pile end of the two options that exist for the treatment of the pile ends. Drill 3/4 of the inch with the hole with the evenly spaced into the pile at the top of the 1/2 inch of the deep of the fill of the holes, crystal tight cap with the lead sheet. Lead sheeting figure for 12-1 clamp iron ring around the top of the pile with the pour hot crystal tight with the ring and allow the pile to absorb the crystal tight. Remove the ring with the cap of the pile. Debris with the cumulative debris should be removed with the aim of the timber for the surface of the debris. Hold the moisture and will penetrate with the timber. Remember the bark with the bark. Native logs should be removed. If not removed during construction to prevent moisture from being trapped between the wood and the bark. Insects attack the timber can be classified either dry line intersect with the timber, the carbonary ends, the powder post, the beetles or marine borers, wood or louse or linaria. The most common treatment of the dry land insect with the pressure treatment with the proper poison. Keep full care of for watch for the infestation, marrow boards, care of commonly enter the wood through the bruise and break them, plug the bowl over the areas. The infestation generally runs with the road line with the water level at the tide line, high tide. The best method of controlling marine borers and prevention of the infestation, prevention maintenance of the marine borers are conducted at several different stages of infestation, preventing breathing install the buttress and protect the structural member the damage of the wave of the action and current flow of the flowing debris of the trait and treat damage with the plague with the coat all of the holes in the bruise with the flesh lace all of the end with the heavily crusted toe. Flexible barrier with the install of the flexible PVC barrier of the wall of the pile. Most is approximately 10 to 15% in the cross section area of the piles. Piles should be protected with the 1 foot below the mud line with the 1 foot above the high tile with the figure 12 to 2 with the part with the sheet of the pile with the 30 mil with the PVC pipe with the half of the round wood pipe of the pile as half of the vertical edge of the PVC sheet with the help of the wrapping the off of the note with the pile with the crescent toe bleeding with the surface must be first wrap with the sheet with the polyethanol film prior to the installment of the PVC wrap to protect the reaction between the PVC with the crescent type to staple the length of the polyethanol film with the 1/2 inch by 3 inches by 1 for the upper lower horizontal end of the sheet with the fill with the pole pipe piece together with one of the insert of the pocket attached to the bottom of the other pole with the both roll except for the material on the combining pole pieces of the tightening around the pile. Figure 12-inch with the protective cover the timber members show the 26th grade galvanized iron seal of the pile head of the shredded timber cap and the post and pile the front elevation galvanized iron timber treated timber elevation. With a special wrench for the secure the wrap the pole with aluminum alloy rails, nail rigidly plastic bands at the top of the bottom directly over the polyethanol foam with the located under the wrap and some of the additional band with the equal distance between the top and the bottom bands. Braces upon use wrapping with the brace for the heavy light damage to prevent the damage of the current. Remove the bolt with the screw of the brace of the pile with the wrap the feet with the end of the 20 mil flexible PVC sheeting with the wrap of the bolt through the wrapping existing hole with the lower bolt with the price brace to the pile with the wrap the remainder of the brace for the sheeting with the wrap of the bolt connection should be the shown in the first step. Concrete barrier when the pile has lost 15 to 50% of the cross section over the concrete barrier with the be poured again around the existing pile provided with the comprehensive strength of the barrier with the marine board figure 12 to B. To accomplish the cleaning with the pile with the remove the foreign material plate for the tube with the fiberglass metal plastic around with the pile with the seal with the bottom with the form of the pump the concrete grout into the form the bottom of the top of the reinforce the water out of the grout is placed. See mechanical operation and where this is important consideration timber to relieve the pile decking of the material of the piles are subject to abrasion and where the current of the tidal flow with the effect of the debris carried through these methods through these flow the methods available to help to prevent the possible air of the embankment and placement of the buttress for the upstream slide over the pile within cave of the pile and the concrete or steel decks. The suspect is aware of the abrasion location of the dam, the gravel or track onto the bridge and the two methods to protect the wood for declared treadways or sheet metal of the wood plank that are blazed this wheel lines to provide wearing the surface of the treatment of liquid asphalt applied to the deck, cover the gravel to protect the decks from the wear. It also sealed between the plank for the contribute to water tightness. Know that the asphalt wearing surface will not bond to freshly creased aggressive. It would also recommend that the deck should be surfaced only at a period for at least 1 year. This permits. Alright, figure 12-2 shows the flexible barrier, PVC barrier installed with the timber pile, the 30 MIT PVC pipe mud line and plastic bands, metal reinforcing bands, jacket pile, base assembly, low tide line, grout spacing, damage pile, spacer blocks. The crystal tight line for the surface below the asphalt is applied with the 12-2, the fire protection, prevent fire covered water barrels with the bucket of the distributed water with the plate within the convention located. The danger of the fire can also be reduced by a thin coating of the top of the asphalt covered with sand, gravel, or stone chips. Section 2, repair and strength of timber methods. 12.3, the repair method of the wood and timber of the structure is generally directed with the correcting of one or more of the following problems with the air with the fungi, inspection, insects, bacteria, deterioration, erosion, abrasion, overload. The most common repair of the timber structure with the retrofitting of the timber connection, resolving, removing the damage of the portion of the timber member of the splice with the new timber, remove the entire member of the replacing with the new member. The common, the rule of the timber rule repair are there should be at least 1/8 of an inch thickness between the timber of the lava, the timber of the dry. Properly when a native log with the construct of the all bark should be removed to be ready for the moisture of the penetration of the long. Green and wet timber of the shrink with a considerable see the repeat the wetting of the drying with also cause the dimension change with a greater than 5 to 10% of the direction perpendicular with the growth rings frequently renailing of the tightening of the balls is necessary care should be taken. You need to know the salvage which together to carry the loads of the cover the different with the action shaking shrinkage of the member. The repair should be avoided with the new and old string is the same in the panel. Wood shim and wedges should be made with the cypress, redwood, Douglas fir or the same material of the member. Replacement members should must have the same dimension of the existing members accounting for the shrinkage. Always drill holes and cut ends with the prevent water insection damages. Connecting the type of timber connection that relies on some of the type of the hardware connected with the timber member the help with the improvements made in the glass glues and laminates of glue may come in the available option with the cover to even enhance the connection that provided between the wood surface to prevent the moisture penetration with the connection. Bolts, drift pins, and then screw with the two most of the common repair required for these connections are with the replacement of the bolts due to the rust of the damage, retrofitting the bolt on the hole in the timber after the removal of the inspection. The existing bolt with the screw with the proceed the valve of no deterioration provide a strong fit for the bolt, and then inject with the water preservative with the hole, the replacement of the bolt, slight deterioration, loose fit with the bolt, the dry hole on the side of the provide with the good work surface. Note that the diameter of the hole should be not be increased to the extent that the wood cross section will no longer carry the design load. They inject with the wood preservative, replace with the bolt, and screw with the large side of the tilt, but increase the hole diameter moderate with the deterioration help to provide with no bearing of the bolt with the boring of the core. Whole wood would reduce the connection with the load capacity, remove the deteriorated wood from around the edge of the hole with the inject with the wood to preserve the polyethylene coal with the tar cressito with the steel in place of the hole corresponding with the timber with the connection with the cross, the connection with the bridge of the damage and play with the bolt through the hole with the place and tighten. Deterioration connection is beyond with the repair with the damaged portion of the member, the splice with the new portion, replace with the member with the form of the connection. Wood scabbing. The scabbing is used to join the member together with the swipe with the remember the repair with the timber member the existing component with the exterior with the plywood can be used as a light load with the help with the most careful damage style of timbers or even the first step of the name with the repair with the nature with the checking and scabbing with the sound is replace with the required if the scabbing is good shape with it can be tightened with the various ways. Remove the loose nail with the screw with the replace with the large side add news and screw with the existing scabbing with the drill through the scabbing and member and placing bolts. Steel connector plate with the connecting plates are made with the lag of the galvanized steel plate within white with receive and plugs have been punched in. Plate with the replace with the wood surface may be the damage of the teeth of the new plate with the provide with the shear and interface with the case of the wood scabbing even to replace with the steel plate with the new steel plate with the can be in place with the use of the nails provided the interface with the loose plate can be also been tightened and strengthened by adding nails to screws to the plate with the nails and spikes and the screw. They are often most of the common hardware items used to form wood connection with this item which may become the loosely only options that are to replace with the nail and the screw with the larger one. Try to screw with the connectors back into the plate with the add nail screw with the help to carry the load with the loose connector deck connector. The timber decking is connected with the steel string with the floor clip with the figure 12-3 with the nail driven on the side of the deck and the bed and around the top of the flint shield member figure 12-3 with the composite action tube between the concrete deck of the timber stringers either castell damping the consist of the 1/2 to 3/4 inch of the cut of the top string with the castell damping with in conjunction with the nails or spikes partially driven into the top of the string with the large lag bolts of the 45-degree inclination with the two horizontal epoxy. 12.5 repair with the graded lumber. The lumber damage of the point with the structural integrity of the member. The question scaffolding and slicing the member may be required with the bridge for the damage. Scaffolding is used when the member is moderately damaged. In addition, with the scaffolding allow the member to carry the design load with the method of scaffolding even if on top of all of the timber members. All members clean and treated damage for the relief of the member laying low possible scabbing on the side of the end or top of the bottom of the member of the transmit the load across the damage over the scabbing can be like a plate or wood or steel plate with a bolt. The steel plate connects to the beam and the string with the steel plate can be scabbed to these member the repair with longitudinal crack with the file with the figure 12-4 with draw holes through the deck on the either side of the stringer at the maximum minimum distance equal to the beam depth with the power of the damage area. Still the additional set with the decks holes past the other end of the damage area to play for the draw bolts through the hole with the extent of the pads over the bottom with the existing beam. They use the washer support strap to help prevent the pull through. Play with the steel retaining plate on the bottom of the string of the hole that and play with the support strap nuts and draw with the ball both tight and the retainer plate when the plate for the plate process will strengthen the damage area with the providing the seal with the cover of the plate with the cross damage closing the slits, cracks in the wood and creating the composite action between the single and the deck piles, the reinforced concrete seals, jack of the place in a partially deteriorated pile, restore the strength of the procedure for the same with the placing the protective cover around the pile with the, and then common deck connectors, note opposite side floor clips, 40D nail 16 to 18 inches. Excepting the reinforced bar are placed inside with the form of the added strength of the paragraph 12.1. Caps are scabbed with the extent of the bearing area of the bottom with the string with the laminated of the deck with the deteriorated over the cap of the preparer, considerably attaching 6 inches of the timber of the depth equal to the cap of the inside of the existing cap file with the 12.5 with the U of the template to lay out the 4-inch O-ring connected to the arm of the cap, cap or scab and scab cut O-ring of the drill with the 3/4-inch holes through the cap and the scab of the inch of the O-rings into the cap, the position of the scab, the clamp, the bolt, and display with the inch of the bolt through the scab, the cap, on the OG with the washer with the bolt over the end of the bolt and tighten to the place. Splicing is required for the lumber. It is too severely damaged the care of the design. Figure 12.6 with the splice to remove the damage of the wood member of each tree. The freshly cut with the end of the member of the replacement member. Then nail screw with the bolt and scabbing out with the existing timber to replace the joint together. 12.6 remember repair pile. The pile's damage is deteriorated point with the structural integrity of the pile with the question more advantage for the repair of the existing pile than derived the replacement. The pile repair of the existing pile must have good bearing and a part of the foundation. All right, 12.4 show with the repairing a crack split stringer. Show the draw up bolts, the retaining plate, and the support straps, and then your draw up bolts, retaining plate, and support straps. Also, the figure 12.5 show the timber cap scabs to provide additional bearings. 6-inch by 12-inch treated timber, 4-inch split ring, 4-foot split ring timber connection, 12 by 12 existing cap. 3/4-inch O bolts with the washer with the hot dip galvanized split ring connection, SPA, SPA, 1 foot, and 12.6 show the stringer splay with the section A of the drift pin cap, the stringer with the 36 inches, and then 6-inch by 12-inch by 6 foot for the fish blade with the stringer with the 12-inch by 12-inch, 1-inch diameter bolt of the cap, 12 by 12. The method of repair and show the depend on the type of the pile, the pile damage extend below the below the water line, single the pile with the steel and force reel spike over the part 12.7 the part A of the surveyor pile with approximately 2 feet below the mud line with cut the stub pile with the length with the defect with the portion connect the end of the stub of the pile with the existing pile with the center drift end of the dowel with 3/4 of an inch diameter, 18 inches long, reinforced the joint with the plate with 3 angle section, the 2 feet long with the 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch by 2 inches by 2 inches, each on the third point around the circumference with each of the pile connection. The angles will be held in place with the minimum of 4 lag screws, 4-inch long pure angle, the multiple pile steel reinforced splice for the figured in 12.7 the part B that serve the pile with above the 2 feet below the mud line place, the mud line mud sill with the portion of the valve left in play with the security, even the bearing of the pile with the tank for the earth between the pile with the even sill with the support with the inch of the cross section with the mud sill equal to the bent with the cap extend with the 3 feet beyond the pile. Connect the pile stub with between the mud sill within the cap. You drift pin with the angle to describe it in single pile with the pile damage extend with above the water line, severe of the pile, serve the pile with above about 2 feet below with the damage received with the damage previously described with the blade below the water, single pile with the steel of the joint with the crease will tighten asphalt. Or single pile damage above the ground line, remove the soil ground with the pile to the below the moisture, construct the cribbing and the plate for the the support jack plate for the jacks and jack up and the caps 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Cut the dowel connection from the cap to the pile with cut the deteriorated pipe below with the permanent moisture line. Make the cut with the right with the angle with the center line with the pile with cut the new pile 3.5 inch 1/4 inch long with the remove the section of the plate for the concrete with the reinforced bar with the position of the form. The form must also allow a minimum of 6 inches of the cover around the pile. The form can be made with a steel culvert, steel drum. It needs not to be removed. The plate for the new pile section with the existing pile stump with the control even contact with the bearing point with the check with the make sure that the repair rebar is not finished. Shift the pour class 2 concrete into the form and slope of the top of the pour to allow the water to run off. Reattach the cap to the pile while the dowel with the exterior steel plate. Settlement bearing level of the pile due with the deterioration pile, crippling with the shelf over the adjacent pair over the jack of the string with the off the cap of the evaluation, what half inch higher than the desired at the top of the decay pile, cut a shim the hat quarter inch into the left of the space between the cap of the pile, the head of the tree, the pile, the head of the shim, place the shim into position, lower the jack, then pick for the shim in the position, toenail the shim into the pile, dial the cap, and then repair the fish plate, across the repair and remove the ring. Damage to the fender valves. The valve that have been broken between the top of the bottom of the whale figure for 12 to 10 can be repaired as valve cut off the pile below the break, install the new section secured with epoxy and fit it strongly into position behind. Figure 12 shipment of the timber pile replacement, single pile, multiple piles, new pile mud line, dial 18 inches off, cut off the old pile stub, upright dowel of the 2-inch cap, the 2-inch long on the upright side of the tube, 3 inch by 12 inch by 3 foot long footings, mud still on the rear of the 2-inch cap, 2 foot long on each side, upright, 3/4 inch dowel, selected material mud still on pile stub. 12H of the concrete jacking of the supporting the timbers pile, laces the steel plate of the timber strut with the timber cap, the equated EO spaces, the pile and the bolts connect with the metal wearing with the shoe of the front side of the pile with the 12 side with the repair of the posts. Damage the bent post of the repair must be the same way of the single pile through the splicing link off the damaged section. Alright, 12H show the repair of the sway bracing. The repair of the valve of the sway bracing may include the erection of the brace for the best stable level of the pier with the replace the existing brace with the brace for the desired measurement that should be taken with the timber cover the tree prior to the repair operation. Installation of the bracing temporarily attached to the bracing pile with the final position of the galvanized nail with the locate the drill hole or hole through the bracing pile with the hole should be the same diameter of the bolt on the tree. All the holes of the hot hole present the insole of the bolt and wash it out to tighten into place. B. Remove the sway brace from the locate the end of the deteriorated damaged brace with the cut off the damaged portion of the nearest pile to take off the required measurement of the new bracing, cut off the timer side of the drill with the hole of the new bracing and rebuild the bracing of the pile, even the existing hole with the possible drill new holes in the pile of the relay line bracing. Treat all of the timber coat to the holes of the hot oil preservative followed by a coat with hot tar. Alright, 12-9 shows shimming the timber pile, show the improper shim, the properly shimmed cap, and the stringer's top deck, and the cut all the piles the same level, the fish plates and drift pins. 12-10 show the fender pile repair, broken fender pile with the upper wall with the whale and choke, the lower whale and chokes, then show the new top flat for the pile with the metal rubber stripping, cutting existing pile, strong back made with the file section of the timber with the HW and lower whale existing fender pile with strong back and center place fender pile. Alright, 12-9, replace the tension timber component of these members, replace the same with the procedure that outlines paragraph 11, 6 of the steel members. 12 then replacement of the compression timber with the pile with the 3 methods that can be used to replace the damaged pile with the place the existing pile with the drive and the new pile with the new pile along the side of the existing with the pile with the 12 11 the A part A. Locate the center line through the nearest of the pile with the replace the hole with the deck with the drive with the new pile with remove the brace and the interferes with the pile drive with the tip of the pile's light battery with the edge which the plumb of the pulled in position drive with the specimen bearing the evidence of the U-clamp with the blocking around the pile being replaced. Adjacent pile with the if the existing pile has no load carrying capacity. Place a jack on the block system, jack with the cap of the new pile with 1/2 inch below the cap of the copper, plate of the copper sheeting of the pile, head flow on the play pile with into position, load the jack with the dowel and strap the cap into the pile. Prepare the place bracing with the deck, leave the existing pile, and place the add the new pile with figure 12-12, like hook the hole of the deck with the dry pile, with the dry piles on either side of the damaged pile, perpendicular to the bent, the new pile should be off the side with at least one pile width with the one side of the damaged pile. Cut the tops of the new pile with place support across the top of the new pile with the form of the cap under the existing pile with the two caps should be in contact with each other. Use wedges to ensure that the load is transferred to the new bent post. Replace the pile with install with a temporary support parallel to the damaged post. Remove the existing post and install with the new post or wedge and then to place to ensure the proper loading transfer drive. Drift pin through the end pile. Cap the wedge from the post to secure the position from the nail wedge for the plate for the position. Cover the wedges off the flush with the cap of the post, the connection post over the cylinder cap, the scab the cap. So with the replace the cap temporarily with the fold of the bent. Construct the support with the deck with the flooring during the replaced operation. See figure 11 of 12-11. The new caps should be given them free, even with the bearing of each of the pile of the post support. The cap should be fastened to each post and pile with drift pins and spike. Alright, your 12-11, the replacement of the flexural timber component stringers. Stringers should be lined up with the true plane with the new placement of the wood. Stringers are the ignition of the proper zone. Maybe the salvage reeve. The new salvage stringers should not be used together in any one panel to cover the difference sag with the shrinkage of the between the new and old shrinkage of the select of the material of the new shrinkage should be the same width and depth of the old shrinkage of the panel. However, the cap of the emergency of the best available to side of the roof, the temper of the shrinkage should be wedged tightly against the deck with the center of the span of the, or the end. No attempt to fit with the deck of the spag of the advising. And the new string of the acquire the sag of the wedge of the tightening of the compensator with the procedure of the adding of the replacement string there is follows. Alright, the underdeck method of the play for the two jack for the end each for the cap of joining the bay with the string of the back being replayed with the using steel blades between the jack and pay for the timber of the top trafficking during the jacking operation. Jack of the 1/4 to 1/2 inch for the clear of the string with the cut the wedge out of one end of the string of the bevel with the corner of the other end of the replacement the timber of the brat warped play for the camber of the provided the bearing on all of the deck members place the string of the wedge on. Our figure 12-11 the jack stand over the timber camper placement damage and the falls cap the jacks and 3 with the damage cuff the 6 inch by 12 inch timber jack with the U clamps jacking. Figure 12 show the pile replacement method. The cap remove the play for the after driver, then cutting the new plow the existing pile with the section reduce the marine bore the otherwise damaged the new play pile head filled with the into play with the existing pile cut offload the new pile driven alongside existing pile pulled new pile driven in the same location, and then show the side elevation existing bent cap new cap support new pile the existing pile shim that's required, and then show the front elevation existing bent cap the new piles. Its cap pushes far enough that the cap of the lab with the opposite end is played with into on its cap of the lift the bevel end of the string with the cap of the anchor with the come along with the cap under the bevel end with the attached with the cable of the wedge the end replace with the string with the come along pull the new string with the fill with the final position provided the equal bearing of the each cap of the wedge with the underside with the string with provided the contact with the deck with remove the support equipment the end of the nail of the wedge in position and shove the fashion from the nail of the beam and remove the wedge adjust the account of the sag for sag move the above the deck method cutting the deck along with each string to be replaced with enough of the deck everything allowed the one end of the string of the tube to rotate the cap enough to, from the other end of the clearing side of the far side with the lift far end of the string with the cable through the plant recut hole into the deck clear with the cap the jack pulled with the string with the final position replaced with the decking. Alright, 12-12. Replacement of the timber deck. And the timber floor with the floor blanks shall be laid with the heart side down with the more resistance to the decay. The 1/4 inch space should be provided between the plank with the drainage expansion for the air circulation structural grease. Grade hardwood plank with 6 to 10 inches wide with the preferred decking material to be cut with the wire plank with a tendency with the curve with the nail spike should be driven in so that their heads are embedded into the planks to the same thickness should be played for adjacent to each with the other with a full even bearing of the string of the wedge. It should not be even to the level of the flooring because they easily dislodge and leave the flooring in a loose uneven condition. Alright, your wheel guards. The replacement should be even the same size section original be fastened the same bolt spacing of the bolts should be expanded to the restaurants okay scupper, bullocks, and floor plank shake 12-4. 14. Bellow deck timber stringer replacement, typical jacking arrangement, timber cap, 12 by 12 foot by 12 foot, 4 6 by 4 inches by 6 inch timber deck, effective stringers 6 by inches by 12 inches by 6 in the jack, bevel corners 2 foot and new stringer cap pile, new stringer deck and erection scheme, and then you'd have your 12-4 splicing wheel curb, long stringer splice with new block, under splice with new blocks, and the splice new section of the stringer piece. Alright, we still got some reading to do. 12-13, strength with the intermediate support of the bent pillow, strength with the nail with the 2 inch thick pangs for the cap of the sill with the both of the between them. The flank should be approximately width of the pier of the component with which of the nail with the effect with the increase of the cross sectional wood air with the carrying with the compressed below over the bridge. Concrete incave pile with the traptures incave piles paragraph 12-4 with the discuss the process of the concave the timber pile with the concrete shore with the timber splice the same with the type technique can be used with the extent with the reinforced concrete casing full length of the timber pile with the procedure that involved the same step with the required with jacketing steel in the concrete pile refer to paragraph 11-4 and 11-13-5. Helper the system that can be used with the strength of any of the entire pile pier section, the use of the existing pile and the loft of the bearing of the cell and the cover of the load capacity of the pile and the question when the load of the bearing capacity of the existing and curve the timber pile with the driven through the deck with the parallel adjacent to the pile bent with the top of the cap of the inferior spares with the string with in essence new pier construct with adjacent to the existing pier to help to carry the load of the figure 12-15. Helper Benson so the following manner located with the center line with the stringers beams and part with the mark of the position of the helper bent with the pile with parallel to the pier with the cut the holes in one of the traffic lane at the time with the timber deck with the make with the cut along with the center line with the string with the remove the enough of the docking with the provide drive the pile with the reinforced concrete deck with remove the sufficient in the center concrete square pattern with the drive the pile with the cut the reinforcement steel with the center with the hole bend out of the waist at the pile and the drive of the required bearing cut the pile 1/4 inch above the existing cap to make allowances with grade difference due to the settlement. Play the covers over the deck hole to move the next position. Repeat the same operations for the pile of the driven the jack up the structure 1.5 inch with the existing pier of the plate of the timber of the cap of the pile of the lower substructure. For the cap of the new piers, strap caps of the piling, shim the between the substructure of the cap is required to obtain with the proper pairing. Remove the deck plate, then remove the deck, repair the deck with the construction for the cross bearing, the new piles bends, and then between the bends for the intermediate bends. Alright, 12-14, shorten span length. The shortening increase the obtained with the shortening of the timber span is fairly large due to the shortening span is generally associated with the timber bridge shortening and accomplished with the adding one of the following intermediate pairs, paragraph 1022b, A-frame, paragraph 1022c, new braces, paragraph 1022 D, and this show the figure diagrams intermediate helper bent the new timber cap with the existing timber cap and pile with the existing string with the new timber pile, new helper transverse cross bracing, deteriorated pile, bent piling caps, and then longitudinal cross bracing. Alright, 12-15, the post tensioning. Many of the type of the post tensioning can apply with the timber structure for the most common effect with the bend with the king post with the counteract with the bending with the external stirrup, the reduce with the shear with the fact king post, and effect with the king post with the shortening, and effect with the length of the reinforced span with the one technique with the U that install the king post with the timber bridge with the shown figure 12-16. They install the 3/4 inch thread steel eye bolt through the string with the equal distance with each end of the member of the steel plate with the hole of the eye bolt should be under the eye with the bolt nut to help the pull through. Note that the eye bolt should be positioned low moment with the string with the internal with the moment with the post tension should be checked with the run of the steel cable through the eye bolt and the U bolt with the top of the cable through the eye bolt attached to the king post with the underside of the beam of the span with the king post can be steel or wood, or would have the eye to run the steel cable through the run with the cable through the eye with the king with the cable connect with the end of the cable to the cable of the eye bolt, the turnbuckle to tighten the turbo to provide the post tensioning string with the post tensioning to the stringer. External stirrups. External stirrups can be applied with the timber string with to provide the shear with the string. With the much same with the way with the made stirrup with the reinforced concrete with the sum of the chain with the angle with the review with the top plate, the cup with the top of the bottom, the string with the thread bar with the tighten the whole top plate with external reinforcement. Paragraph 13-7. 12-16, adding string with additional string that can be installed with the existing bridge with the redistributed bridge loading. Same with the technique with the replaced stringers can be used to install with additional stringers under the existing decks. Paragraph 12-10. Timber frame strength using the king post positioning. So the steel I-beam, the steel plate with the eye bolt, and then your turnbuckle and steel cable. Alright, 12-16, strength of the individual member. The timber can be strength with additional steel with the cover the blade with the counteract flexure shear with the foul of the finger. 12-17, the plow with the field preserve the treatment of the timber with the paint the steel cover the blade with the flexure cover the blade with the timber member using lax screw with the attached the shear cover the blade with the both side of the member through the screw both the note the proper spacing of the lax screw of the bolts to ensure the composite action between the blade and the timber stringer occurs. 12-17, show the steel covered plate with the reinforced timber beam. Show the bolt holes, lax screws, flexure cover plates, shear cover plates. Chapter 13, concrete bridge maintenance and repair and upgrade.